Hello everyone and welcome to RS Agarwal IAS. So on this day of 5th of November, we will be discussing our OTD one topic discussion, that is star campaigner and election expenditure. Okay, this is very important. There are very specific mention in your syllabus about the Representation of People Act. Okay, the 1951 Okay, so this is a very important because it has a, although the star campaigning is basically can be asked in your prelims paper. Okay, it might be appear in your prelims paper, and within that election expenditure is very important topic and issues for, you can say, the GS paper. Now this is one issue for the GS paper 2, that is a polity and governance part, and it can be also be seen in the GS paper 4 as well. And overall, you can say the election mechanism, you can find an essay in your exam as well. So this topic, having an proper information and proper understanding on this issue becomes very critical for the students, okay, preparing for the UPSC. So why this topic has been picked as a one topic discussion? The reason is, it is in the recently in news about the star campaigner. Now recently the Election Commission of India has cancel the star campaign status given to a Congress leader. Okay, we should not be naming that person, but a Congress leader from MP, very senior leader, who was being promoting as a star campaigner. So basically, what happened in this case? There is the law that I cited. The reason that I cited by the election commissioner or Election Commission of India is the violation of Model Code of Conduct. We will see that what is Model Code of Conduct in that sense. But this is all the overall reason that we have picked this topic, that this is one of the most favorite topic, and recently in 2019 election also it has become a very important issue. Okay, so let's start our discussion on this. Now the very first question that comes to our mind is, who is actually this star campaigner? Now if we go according to the law, Election Commission does not have any specific definition to the star campaigner. Okay, that who will be the star campaigner. But in general understanding, we have understood that star campaigner is one basically who is considered as having a potential to attract more votes for its party. Now this star campaigner can be anybody. It might be a film star that you have seen, that film stars and very sports personalities used to campaign for for particular parties. Okay, even the politician for that matter, like a senior political leader, like if the BJP and the Congress, you might be seeing for the Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi become the star campaigner. Even for that matter, you can say Modi and big senior leader who has a wide knowing attraction, or you can say the peoples are more aware about that particular people, so it becomes very easy for them to attract more vote for that particular parties. So it becomes the star campaigner thing. Now if there is no definition as well as there is no law which governs the star campaigner. Okay, there is also no specific law that is there that we can say, fine, okay, this is the law that can be governed by the can be used for the governing or regulating the star campaigner also. Now this is also a very important thing, that we do not have a law also, we do not have a definition also. Now how the star campaigner has been nominated or has been appointed or or what are the procedure that is being done for the listing the star campaigner. So it is basic, they are the nominees or the nominated person of concerned political parties. Okay, every political party gives it the name of the star campaigner, a list of star campaigner that to be considered as a star campaigner by the Election Commission. Okay, so they specifies their constituency, in which constituency they are going to give a speech or visiting, and the duration on which they are going to do that. So these are the two important things that every political party has to mention in their list. Okay, and that has to be provided to the Election Commission or Chief Election Officer of the state. Okay, so list has to be communicated to each Chief Election Officer or Election Commission of India, and it should be within a week from the date of notification of election. Once the notification of election has been issued, it should be within that week only. So this is very important, that they have to be provided with the stimulated time. Now let's talk about how many star campaigner can be allowed by Election Commission of India. Now this has been recently, you can say this recently revised by the model code of revision in the model code of conduct, you can find a mention of star campaign in model code of conduct, and this has been revised recently, in which the strength has been reduced from 40 to 30 for the recognized political parties. Like you can say, recognized political party is a different topic that we will discuss. Recognized political party like BJP, Congress, these are the national party, and they are the recognized political party. So they are provided 30 person can be appointed as a star campaigner among 40. And for the unrecognized registered party, this has been reduced from 15 to 20 to 15. Now they can have 15 of that, you can say they can list the 15 name that can be a star campaigner. So let's, what benefit does the political parties have? Now what are the benefit, why this is actually required, and why there is a benefit of, having a star campaigner for that matter. Okay, so political benefit, you can say the first is extra relief to the candidate. Now every candidate, according to the model code of conduct, every candidate are provided with a certain amount of limit, that certain amount that can be they have as an expenditure. Okay, you can say like in the Lok Sabha election, which was revised recently, in this election, the ongoing election in Bihar and some assemblies election like MPs and MP and Karnataka, they have revised it from 70, and there is an increase of 10% hike has been done in recently. So this has reached 70 has reached to 77 lakh rupees for the Lok Sabha election, and this was earlier 28 lakh for the assembly election, and this has been increased by more than 10%. So 28 has been increased and 10% has been increased, so it becomes to 30.8 lakh rupees. Now these are the actual figure that we have right now for the expenditure of the election. Now this expenditure, next benefit is that this expenditure that incurred by the star campaigner actually not added into this pool, on the candidate pool. Now then who is going to have this expenditure and who is going to bearing this expenditure? So it will be bear by political parties. All the expenditure will be in the political parties. Okay, and they have to submit their IT return. Okay, there is a common voter. Now it is very important, the star campaigner has one more benefit, that it will be very easy for the, most of the time it is found that the candidate does not know their the people does not know the candidate, and who are the candidate, they not easily recognize them, that which political parties he has given the ticket to which candidate. He might be not very popular in that particular constituencies, but the moment they see that, okay, this person is actually, the star campaigner visit there, this person will see that, okay fine, this is the person who is supporting and this is the candidate. So it becomes very easy for the common man to identify and who them they support and who they should support. Now this becomes very important for attracting more vote at the last mile. So you might have seen the Shah Rukh Khan and Salman Khan and many other famous persons like recent Amisha Patel and many others are there who are actually fighting, who are actually doing this star campaigning. And even more importantly, it can be seen in the Lok Sabha election. Okay, so these are the things that is happening. Now let's see the let's see the legislative provision that we have for the election expenditures in India. What are the provisions, or what are the legislative provision that we have, the rules or regulations, or you can say the law that we have for the control of the election expenditure in the country. Now election expenditure is one of the most important reason of, you can say, the non-level playing field in the country. Okay, that is the reason the election in India is not a practice of common people, it is a practice of rich people. The money and the muscle power, although we have in our election machinery, we have improved a lot considering the muscle power in the country. At the 70s and 80s, at the time of 17 and 80s and 90s, we were having a problem of muscle power, because that was a time when the criminals actually enter into the politics. But election commission has effectively come out of that, and people has also realizing the importance of election. So we actually majorly came out of that particular problem of muscle, but we are not coming out of this problem of money. Money and muscle power is actually the most contributing factor or deciding factor in the elections in India, or for that matter to the world, because we are seeing the rise of expenditures in the elections. Unofficial figure will tell you the normal amount, but official figure will tell you the normal amount, but unofficial figure is very high. It's more number high in compared to any other thing. Okay, so let's take a legislative view of the legislative provision that we have. So we have a section 77 clause 3, and in that, in the Representation of People Act, it says that the total said expenditure, now whatever said expenditure has been said in the MCC, that is Model Code of Conduct, should not exceed the amount as prescribed. So said expenditure, whatever the said expenditure that is given by the candidates, has to submit the election expenditures what they have incurred after the 30 days of the declaration of election, that they have to do. If they fail to do that, their election can be null and void. So whatever they do, they should not increase that particular amount which has been prescribed in the Model Code of Conduct. Then there is section 78 also in the Representation of People Act. Now it says that every contesting candidate at an election to lodge with the district election officer. Now district election officer has to give the account of his election expenditure within 30 days to the district election officer. Okay, so this is one. Then there is another, this is 78. Then there is representation of RPI Act was operationalized through the Code of Conduct for Election. Now every law cannot be implemented on its own. If we want to operationalize some law, we need to make some rule. So that is the reason to operationalize this part of the RPI Act. We have actually RPI has given only the broader area. Now the minute input has to be provided by certain rules, and so that it is provided by Conduct of Elections, Rule 1966. Then to make a more clarity in that, to have a more clarity in that. Okay. Then there is a Rule 19 Conduct of Election that talks about maximum election expenditure that can be done. The total expenditure that we are talking about, which incurred or authorized in connection with the election of the state or union territory, shall not exceed the prescribed limit. So it's talking about the election in the states and union territories also. So these are the legislative provision that we have for the elections in India, election expenditures in India. Now let's talk the reality of election expenditure. Now if you see the reality of election expenditure, now one very important, you can say very respected civil society group is Association of Democratic Reform. Now whenever you find this Association of Democratic Reform in the newspaper, kindly read it and jot it down, their information or key finding that particular organization have, because that can be used in your answer directly. It is a very authentic and very reliable sources. Now this civil society organization has done an analysis that the affidavit that is provided by the candidate of 2019 Lok Sabha election, and they have analyzed around 5,743 you can say affidavits, and their analysis has found that you can say only 4 candidates declare the expenditure above then limit 16 lakh. Then there was a limit of 16 lakh, and only 4 candidates has declared that they are actually invested more than that. Okay, 30 candidate has declared that they have spent 90 to 95%. 30 candidate, 90 to 95%. Okay, in 99.58% said that they have spent 45 to 55% of the limit, that is half of the limit. But if you see in totality, this is the formal figure. Now informal figure, if we consider the informal figure of the expenditure, is very, you can say many a time higher than the official figure. Okay, now recently one of the campaigner has said that, one of the elected MP has said that I have invested around 12-13 crore rupees in my Lok Sabha election, but the limit is 70 lakh. So this is the unofficial figure that we have. This unofficial figure can goes to 20 times, 30 times, 40 times in that case. Okay, so within that, it is very important that the ultimate purpose of having this expenditure limit was to reduce the expenditure in the election. But what we are seeing that the expenditure is actually increasing over time. So this becomes very important to understand why this actually increasing. So let's see, so this is the problem that India is still having in our election expenditure system or election expenditure. Now the reform, we talk about the reforms in the election, that we are talking about the reforms in the election expenditure. The only way of, you can say, to control the expenditure is to provide a level playing field. Level playing field. Okay, in the election, so that the rich and the poor candidate can fight alike. Because in the recent year, we have seen that there is an increase in the candidate who are in a scale of having more than 1 crore rupees in their affidavit as their claim property. Okay, so to make it more fair, and the reform that has been taken, one can be that make political parties more democratic in their internal function, that it has to be more democratic, that there has to be a consensus based orientation. It should not be a dictating kind of a party. Now in India, we can see there is a dictating attitude in the political parties. So there is no transparency and accountability in the party. And there is a problem, one more problem that we face in you can say the Indian political system of charismatic leadership. So one people is actually dictating everything. Okay. Next is make the finance more transparent by law. One of the more important thing is that we should be having a proper law so that the fund that is coming to the party and going out of the party has to be clearly pointed out. We were having an issue related to electoral bond also. Electoral bond related to the funding of the political parties. Funding of political parties. This is altogether new, different topic as well. Okay, so this can be how this can be achieved, that is the transparency and by law. This is actually a very difficult task, and it is required a more political will and consensus among the political party to have this. The way we have the same consensus related to anti-defection law. So it is required in this case also, so that the ruling party does not get undue advantages for the election funding. Recently the report has came that more than, you can say, approximately 90% of the total electoral funding has gone to the BJP. So this creates a disparity in the political parties. So this is very important to understand. Then the election commission has also set up, you can say, the committee to review or examine or revise the expenditure limit. The committee is a 2-member committee. The committee 2-member involve the investigation of Harish Kumar and EC Director, Election Commission Secretary, that is General Secretary in General Umesh Sinha. These are the 2 people that is actually they will be reviewing the election expenditure, and they will be providing certain kind of a suggestion on that, how this can be more build up in a more level playing field. Along with that, they will submit the report in 4 months. Now they will also calculate the cost inflation index will be calculated within that. And there is also an increase of the voters in the country. We were having a voters of 384 million. Now we have a 910 million voter from 2019 to 2020. Okay. Now this election expenditure has not increased since the last it was increased in 2014 it was. Then after that it has not increased. Only 2 states has got the election expenditure has increased, that is Telangana and Andhra Pradesh in the year 2018. So this is very important that we should be going after this. And the cost inflation during this period has increased from 220 to 280. Cost inflation 220 to 280. So this is need. So the need of the hour is to, we should be very much aware, or we should be very much in a position to strike, to bring it more level playing field, to reduce the election role of the money in the election. Okay, so thank you very much for this OTB connecting to us and watching this OTD, and kindly please review it. You can drop a comment on it, and also you can provide a feedback on this. Okay, so thank you very much.